13-15. JG 6. 11, 12. 13. 3. 13 His many appearances, and particularly his manifesting himself to more than 500 persons at one time, provide strong testimony to the truth of his resurrection. 1 Cor 15. 3-8 His resurrection, so well attested, furnishes a guarantee to all men regarding the certainty of a future day of reckoning or judgment. Acts 17. 31. Resurrection of Christ's brothers. Those who are called and chosen and faithful, Christ's footstep followers, his brothers, who are spiritually begotten as God's children, are promised a resurrection like his. Re 17. 14. Row 6. 5. 8. 15, 16. Heb 2. 11 The Apostle Peter writes to fellow Christians. Blessed be the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ, for according to his great mercy he gave us a new birth to living hope through the resurrection of Jesus Christ from the dead, to an incorruptible and undefiled and unfading inheritance. It is reserved in the heavens for you. 1 Peter 1. 3, 4. Peter also describes the hope such ones possess as precious and very grand promises, that through these you may become sharers in divine nature. 2 Peter 1. For they must undergo a change of nature, giving up human nature to obtain divine nature, thus sharing with Christ in his glory. They must die a death like Christ's, maintaining integrity and giving up human life forever. And then they receive immortal, incorruptible bodies like Christ's by resurrection. Row 6. 3-5. 1 Cor 15. 50-57. 2 Cor 5. 1-3 The Apostle Paul explains that it is not the body that is resurrected, but rather, he likens their experience to the planting and sprouting of a seed, in that God gives it a body just as it has pleased him. 1 Cor 15. 35-40 It is the soul, the person, that is resurrected, with a body to suit the environment into which God resurrects him. In the case of Jesus Christ, he gave up his human life as a ransom sacrifice for the benefit of mankind. The 40th Psalm is applied to him by the inspired writer of the book of Hebrews, who represents Jesus as saying, when he came into the world as God's Messiah, sacrifice and offering you did not want, but you prepared a body for me. Heb 10. 5 Jesus himself said, for a fact, the bread that I shall give is my flesh in behalf of the life of the world. Job 6. 51 It follows that Christ could not take his body back again in the resurrection, thereby taking back the sacrifice offered to God for mankind. Besides, Christ was no longer to abide on earth. His home is in the heavens with his Father, who is not flesh, but spirit. Job 14. 3. 4. 24 Jesus Christ therefore received a glorious immortal, incorruptible body, for he is the reflection of Jehovah's glory and the exact representation of his very being, and he sustains all things by the word of his power. And after he had made the purification for our sins he sat down on the right hand of the Majesty in lofty places. So he has become better than the angels who are themselves mighty spirit persons. O textui acute miritra longo. Resurrection 787 First fruits can be compared to the wheat first fruits offered on Pentecost Day, the 50th day from Nisan 16. La 23. 4-12, 15-20. These have been under judgment, so at Christ's return it is time to give the reward to them, his faithful anointed ones, just as he promised his 11 faithful apostles on the evening before his death. I am going my way to prepare a place for you. Also, I am coming again and will receive you home to myself, that where I am you also may be. Job 14. 2, 3. Lu 19. 12-23. Compare 2T4. 1, 8. Re 11. 17, 18. The Lamb's marriage. These as a body are called his prospective bride. Re 21. 9. They are promised to him in marriage, and they must be resurrected to the heavens in order to take part in the marriage of the Lamb. 2 Cor 11. 2. Re 19. 7, 8 The Apostle Paul looked forward to receiving his heavenly resurrection. 2t4. 8. When Christ's presence takes place, there are some of his spiritual brothers yet alive on earth, invited to the evening meal of the Lamb's marriage, but those of their number who have died are given first attention by resurrection. Re 19. 9. This is explained at 1 Thessalonians 4. 15, 16. For this is what we tell you by Jehovah's word, that we the living who survive to the presence of the Lord shall in no way precede those who have fallen asleep in death. Because the Lord himself will descend from heaven with a commanding call, with an archangel's voice and with God's trumpet, and those who are dead in union with Christ will rise first. Paul then adds, afterward we the living who are surviving will, together with them, be caught away in clouds to meet the Lord in the air. And thus we shall always be with the Lord. 1th 4. 17. Thus, at the time that they finish their earthly course faithfully in death, the remaining ones who have the invitation to the evening meal of the Lamb's marriage are immediately resurrected to join their fellow